Natalie Ortiz. Good evening.
Good evening, my name is Natalie Ortiz. I am the parent of a kindergartner who goes to school virtually in District 8. My kindergartner gets 3 hours of homework every night, and that was before SAT prep started this week. My kindergartner also takes between 5 and 7 tests per week in class. From what I've heard from many other parents of Mdcps through a Facebook group we have formed called Mdcps Parents, this is going on all around our district. It is not unique to my daughter's class or her school. Does anybody here think that's normal? Homework takes her this long, not because she lacks intelligence, because in fact she's one of the brightest students in the class, making the principal's honor roll list the first grading period, and I'm confident she'll make it again the next. I don't think it's registering in anyone's mind that emotional health supersedes academic achievement, especially during a pandemic school year. And it's not just about the amount of work. It's also that some of the material is above their level. Yesterday, my daughter's kindergarten teacher told us, virtually, that she was going to have to teach them how to tell time on a clock, even though you're not supposed to really, or it's not expected of them in kindergarten to learn this, but it's going to be on the SAT. In an assessment my daughter took at home, through a McGraw-Hill book named Wonders, one of the many non-age appropriate questions asked these kindergartners to define a homophone and to provide paragraph-length answers in kindergarten. Is anyone reading these assessments? Like, how many, between the SAT, the Wonders, the Performance Matters, the iReady, the traditional regular textbook homework, the occasional project, our children and teachers are being driven to insanity. And that's been a problem before the pandemic began. I think the pandemic has only magnified this issue. How many different ways does my child need to be tested for us to know what level she's at? Besides all of that, I don't want her to go to the school physically to take an SAT test, because that's the reason I kept her virtual to begin with. No one has given us any information about the SAT, about why it's important, about why I should care, about what it even stands for. I'm a newcomer into this.
Ms. Ortiz, I don't want to interrupt you, but your time is up. You can wrap it up.
Okay, thank you. I ask that you do not subject our children to an SAT while we are in a pandemic, and pandemic or no pandemic. Please look inside these books, read these tests, look at these homework sheets, and ask yourselves whether this is hurting them, also that someone somewhere can feel like they've checked all the boxes and feel like they're serving our children because they're not. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Prieto, and I live in District 7. My youngest daughter has never experienced a normal full year of school. Last year, VPK transitioned to online in March. This year, she's in kinder on MSO. She's never met her teacher or her classmates in person. Yet, she's expected to enter her school for the first time in over a year, go to a room she's never likely seen, to complete the SAT. Let's be realistic. She's 5 years old. How well will her results reflect her learning under these circumstances? Why are we unnecessarily magnifying stress and anxiety when we should be focused on reducing it? Why are we prioritizing assessment results over risk of exposure for those who have already chosen to learn online? At the January board meeting, you mentioned your hands are tied with respect to spring assessment mandates, and you're advocating for reduced accountability. However, my understanding is that kinder, first, and second SATs are a district mandate under your purview. Why haven't we waived SATs for our youngest students or provided a means for parents to opt out? School information sessions and test prep have already started, and parents are increasingly concerned. There's a pandemic-related learning loss, and it hasn't affected students equally. The district has already identified students who are struggling in MSO using existing measures. We cannot effectively assess learning in a vacuum that ignores the pandemic. We know these test results won't be reliable or valid. If the results are meant only as a baseline to understand and guide future learning, that can wait. 95% of the parents in my parent-driven advocacy group, Mdcps parents, agreed that spring assessment mandates should be waived. Removing accountability measures is not enough unless clear opt-out information is provided to parents. Also consider that a large percentage of MSO parents will likely prioritize their children's health and emotional well-being and refuse to send their children to school for these assessments, no matter the academic consequences. MSO students should not be required to go to school for standardized testing, and please consider waiving the SAT for K through 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, Ms. Navarro, Dr. Navarro?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank parent Ms. Prieto for coming and bringing forth this issue. I know it's in the public hearing, but I think it would be important, Mr. Superintendent, if someone could respond to that. I'm asking as a school board member where I have my constituent. It's very rarely that a constituent comes. Kendall is very far from here, and so is the South. So I want to thank you, Ms. Prieto, for coming downtown.
So through the chair, Dr. Sylvia Diaz will approach Ms. Prieto and speak with her.
Thank you very much. Thank you.